Hey, what's up guys, I'm Praetorian and welcome back to Hearts 4 as we are playing as Great Britain. So we're back from our 1 week break. I had all these things I planned on doing during that week and I didn't do any of them. Pretty much just hung out at the house all week, relaxing. So yeah, we're jumping back into the campaign. Do keep in mind that I haven't played in a week, though I have kind of re-familiarized myself with everything that was going on. We're going to be changing our focus from the European theater over to the Asian theater, which I suppose we have a fitting song here. This is that Battle of Wuhan, right? Yeah, we got the Battle of Wuhan song going here. And we're going to be changing our focus over to the invasion of China. Though we do have a few things we need to finish up before we can do that. We have the invasions over here, though I think these are kind of cruddy troops, so we might not move those to Asia. If we did move them over there, it'd just be for defense, so we'd probably just put them over here for the South African front. Make sure that we're able to push forward over here once we go to war with South Africa. But yeah, we have the Madagascar invasions over here and the surrounding islands. And then we also have this invasion of Corsica as well, which looks like we should be able to complete and then get these troops wiped out. And then this Green Army is going to head over to Asia too. One of the first things we're going to do here in today's episode is to spend that army experience. I don't know if I was saving it for anything. Probably. But we're going to spend it anyways. Though, you know what? Let's wait until we're done with these invasions first, because I was going to go ahead and add the last support company for the Black Watch. We might want to wait until we finish those invasions up. So let those get done. Actually, one more thing left to do here is the fleet. I wanted to go ahead and get all these guys trained up here. I know they're currently repairing, and we'll let them finish that up. We're going to go ahead and set them to train up all these ships that need training, because we need some naval experience. And in fact, we're going to go ahead and switch up one of these task forces which are set to patrol. We're going to go ahead and set them up to do the naval exercise as well, just to get us a little bit of experience without putting too many ships in the sea that weren't already out there. Like, we probably won't want to put like a bunch of these ships in there, just because we are having problems with fuel. Now we'll be able to pull back some of these planes that we have soon. I wanted to make sure that we got any French ships that might still be in the Mediterranean sunk. But there are a lot of planes flying overhead here, and so freeing those up for other locations or just stopping them from flying can help save some of that fuel as well. We're still defending here. I think we've tried to attack with no success. They did move 2 of those Chinese divisions out. There was, I think, 5 over here before. Maybe I'm misremembering, but I thought there's 5 Chinese divisions. So maybe they moved some out. We can try and attack here, but we haven't had any success in the past attacks. Oh lord, and that's still firing. It's probably going to fire again until, I mean, it might never stop. But if the Greeks capitulate, you would think it would stop. Guess we'll have to find out. Wait and find out. But yeah, the French do have ships over here. At least some submarines over here. I think we already have planes heading over here, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we have some planes over here. We need more space. I don't think we're building any further on the air bases right now either. But yeah, we need to build that one up a little bit higher. I think that would be helpful. Currently we have 200 doing close air support, 200 air superiority, and 200 on the naval strike. Which should help us out with that naval battle right there. Get those submarines sunk. Did we send off these invasions here, or are they just planning that up? Looks like we didn't send them yet. So let's take a look at them, see if that's what we want to go ahead and do. Yeah, I think we'll go ahead and send them. I don't know if they're done planning. I suppose we might want to take a look at that. It seems like they're completely finished up with it. So yeah, let's go ahead and send them, and we're only going to send these 2 invasions here. It's this army here. So we're only going to send this one and this one here. Because remember, they are also attached to this. They can't actually invade here since we're not at war with South Africa, but yeah, we only want them to do the naval invasions. And we have one here as well, so let's go ahead and get that mountain province from them while we can here. So we don't have to fight them there. It looks like we're going to have to anyways, though it's probably not going to take very long because they don't have any equipment, and there we go. Alright, so we have wiped them out, and that means we can now move the entire Green Army over to the Asian theater. The question is, where to move these guys where we're not going to have some serious supply issues? I don't think we have high enough level horts here to supply the number of troops. Now, we are already having some supply issues here because of the fleet. The fleet is eating up all the supplies, so despite the larger port size, we're still having some supply issues there. I think we might put them over here and then plan to do the invasion over this way. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that, guys, and we can go ahead and set them up to do the invasion as well. And where we'd want to invade is this port right here. And then we're going to try and sweep across this way, and then we'll do a secondary invasion here. Any troops that are in this area would be trapped. We'll get them destroyed, and then we'll take over Indochina, which obviously has a lot of resources that we want. All right, so we're going to get those guys moving over there, and when they get there, they can start training. But let's go and start building this up in preparation for them to be there, since we already know the port is just not large enough for the number of troops we're going to have there. In fact, we might want to go ahead and build this up much higher than even a level 5. Is this the one we want to build in? Yeah. I suppose we could just do level 5 for now and see if that's enough. And this is all helping reducing their autonomy as well, if we are wanting to annex them at some point so we could keep all those resources for ourselves, which I think we have they're at 517 right now. So we've gotten them down a little bit, I think. I don't know where they start at. We did sink those 4 convoys. Excellent. And again, those are likely all troop convoys. So this isn't going away here. But yeah, they're likely all troop convoys. So that's great. And you can see that they do have a heavy cruiser here. So what we might want to go ahead and do is switch over to doing the port strike here and see if we can't bomb those ships right there. Yeah, and try and get those sunk. I don't know how much is left of the French fleet. Probably not a lot. We can take a look real quick. They have like 20-something ships, so there's really not a whole lot left of their fleet. Thus, we do control the seas. Another thing to do is perhaps to just pull back all the ships here, period. Not even patrol or do any of the convoy raiding. Just to try and save in the fuel, because we are having issues with that. We're able to sink another one of those submarines, fantastic, and have done further damage. It looks like we should be able to get that heavy cruiser sunk fairly quickly here, though they might be leaving now, which has allowed our fleet to engage them, the patrol fleet here. The heavy cruiser has already been sunk. All right, fantastic, so that went very well for us. And we might want to go ahead and switch these guys back over to the naval strike now. I'm trying to help sink that destroyer, which we were able to do. All right, excellent. So yeah, we sunk the heavy cruiser and the destroyer. And I think that's all that the French had over in this area. They probably got like 20 ships remaining. Did we finish these up? Still going on that one. They are actually defending this, which we knew, which is why we sent 1 extra division here. Now, these divisions are not very good with attacking, and naval invasion's already hard enough as it is. And so sending more divisions there might not be enough to get the job done. Now, we are sinking convoys all throughout here. Are there any more islands besides the one down here? No, that's it. Well, let's go and set these guys up to do that invasion. Let's hope nobody's down there to stop us, so we can do it nice and easy. So we'll be sending them next, and then I suppose we'll have to send them over here. Although, again, I don't know that sending 5 divisions would be enough to get it done. So yeah, as of right now, we're just waiting to get more troops over here to Asia, and we're building up. We're spending a lot of time building up over here. We could even work on the infrastructure over here, make sure that it's at a good rate. It's at 5, as high as we can get it. We already have the radar going. We don't have air bases here, so that'd be useful. Another thing to do would be to build up the air base here. See, I didn't build it up before because I was worried about losing it. It looks like we should be able to hold on to it. We probably want to build that fairly large. We'll let all this other stuff build here first. Yeah, maybe build an airbase here as well. Yeah, just taking some time to get all that stuff constructed and continuing sinking these convoys and whatever's left of that French fleet. So with the dockyards here, we already know we want to get the carriers built, but remember we need 35 experience to get that done, so not able to do it just yet. So let's just put this into whatever, just submarines or something. Just until we can get the experience. Sunk more Chinese convoys there, because China has decided to send their divisions to the Caribbean. Again, kind of a strange place for them to put them, but we're absolutely okay with that, because this is not that important of an area, and that means less Chinese divisions in China. Where a few people have pointed out that we do not have the number of divisions to win a land war in China, and they are right. We are going to have to do it more cleverly than that. Yeah, we'll just let them keep doing this invasion and just retreat. It's fine. And I don't know how long it's going to take for these guys. We might want to take a look at them and see if they're done yet. 14 days total, so 7 more. And then they'll be done. We'll send the invasion off over there. But yeah, I'm just trying to get this all cleaned up. And then get all these divisions over here to do these invasions. But yeah, we're just going to have to kind of try and do it clever. Because I don't think we'd be able to just like, you know, pump divisions over here to Hong Kong. And then just invade from here and just start taking territory. There'd be many issues with that. First of all, the terrain here is kind of rough. You got these mountainous regions all through here. And it causes problems with the rivers and stuff. So it might be kind of difficult just to advance here, period. But even if we were able to win, the front's going to become super large. We're not going to have enough divisions to control all the region and continue to push forward because we just don't have the numbers. And then on top of that, a lot of the victory points are in this area here. Got a lot of high-level victory points here. You know, 20. Shanghai's 5. It's only a 1 pointer. I know there's a couple high ones. Obviously, Beijing is 20. Their capital is over here. It's only worth 3 points, but it is their capital. There's another 20 pointer there. And you have a few down here. You got like that 5 pointer. You got 10 pointer. But you can see that it's overall, the southern victory points are worth a lot less than the northern ones. But we're not going to do that, guys. We're going to do invasions of the north here. Because remember that the Chinese don't really have a fleet to stop us. So there's no reason why we can't just do invasions of all these ports here, which we will be doing. But first, we're going to take out Indochina to get those resources. Because we could use them, of course. All that rubber. You know, we could be trading that. Tungsten's always helpful. And it gets it out of the hands of the enemy. We did get the isolate the Mediterranean threat here, which the idea with that one is that the Italians won't be able to join the Central Powers. Now, as you can see, we cannot do the alliance with Germany because they are not fascist. We can do the non-interference treaty with Germany, which would give us a non-aggression pact, I think. But we're not going to do that. I'm not sure if that's what that one does. Because it just says Great Britain asked for a non-interference. I would assume that'd be a non-aggression pact. Yeah, we're not going to do that one because we know Central Powers are likely going to be an enemy in the future, and they're kind of busy right now, so I'm not too worried about them declaring war on us just yet. What we're going to get is the Amphibious Warfare, so we can get a research bonus for the transport models as well as for the Marines. So we can start really focusing on what we've been doing. We've been doing invasions over and over again, and yet we don't have the techs and units that would make us better at that, so kind of foolish. They did end up creating their own faction here in the Ottoman Sultanate. German Empire abandons Italy. So the German Empire informs us that they have cut off diplomatic relations with Italy. This will benefit us greatly. Now, I'm not entirely sure what all that results in. Now, many people told me that does result in the Italians not joining their faction, but does that stop Germany from doing their focus down here somewhere? Prepare the Italian coup. Does that stop them from doing it? I don't know. It might not. They might still do that, and then still do the assassinate Mussolini, which would then result in them joining the Central Powers. So we'll just have to see what happens, and if whether or not that actually affects the focuses. I'd be surprised if it does, because often Paradox doesn't really consider focuses with a lot of mechanics and stuff, and I'd be really surprised if it does end up stopping them. But maybe. We'll have to see. But we could still see Italy join the Central Powers, I suppose. But we will not see the Ottomans join the Central Powers, which, remember, they also have Bulgaria, and now they have Iraq, Iran, and Afghanistan. And so that's kind of an issue for a couple reasons. First of all, I was thinking about declaring war in Iraq to get the oil here, because we need more oil. So now if we did that, we got to fight everybody over here. And then there's the problem that I think the Ottomans might get a war goal on us for Syria. I'm not sure. But I believe they do at some point in their focus tree. And so they could declare war on us, and that means not only are we at war with the Turks, we're also at war with the rest of their faction. They could come take all this territory from us. So we could have a problem over here in the future. We'll just have to see exactly what they end up doing. In fact, somebody's justifying against us right now. Germany is. So I'm not seeing it here as a diplomatic option, meaning they're likely doing it in their focus tree, which would be right here. I think that's the only one that would result in them getting a war goal against us, break the Anglo-French colonial hegemony. And this would give them a war goal on us, so it would result in that popping up. So that's a real possibility. We could still ask to join their faction, which is interesting. We're not going to do that, though, I don't think. The only way I can see joining the Central Powers is if we end up at war with Japan and Russia. Then that would be the only faction to join. Though I guess there's the Ottomans. Though they wouldn't be willing to let us join either. They'd have to go to war with somebody that we're at war with. So, I mean, there's other factions, I suppose. But yeah, I'm thinking that we'll probably ally with the Japanese and the Russians once we're at war with the Central Powers. So that would be one good thing about them declaring war on us. We have a good defensive frontier, though if they attack through Belgium, then we're in trouble. Because we do not have enough divisions here to defend this. So they can go around the Maginot Line and really cause us some serious issues. We don't even have any forts up along here. So that's another thing we might want to consider doing. We'll wait until the Central Powers declare war on us, if they do. Again, they might not do it right away. We'll just have to wait and see. So we're just waiting for these guys here. If they're ready to go, we got a couple more days. And then we'll do this invasion. And then we'll send them over here to do this invasion. We'll take all these guys. I think we need to stop this, though, don't we? Take all these guys and have them go back onto this frontier. Onto this invasion. And then we'll just be sending this one here in one day. And then we'll move, oops, I didn't realize it was paused there. And then we'll move these two troops over to this one and see if they can get it done. They might not be able to, because again, they're not great at invasions. The French don't really have a whole lot of areas to send their troops at this moment. I did send more submarines over to the Asian theater. We're going to want to start pulling out of the Mediterranean as well. We want to keep some ships here, though, just in case we go to war with Spain or Italy or even the Turks. So we want to keep some ships here. We won't need the large fleet that we currently have there. We did get those destroyers done, but again, the naval experience is an issue. We're still working on getting those torpedoes. I think we'll work on the submarines next. And we can get the snorkels too. We do need this one, but I kind of want to do it with the research bonus, which we're currently working on getting the focus for. And we're not that far from getting it. I mean, it's 63 days, 2 months. So it'll probably be something we get, well, I guess we have all of our research slots about to finish up here. But let's get the submarines next. Something we need to do. And they don't take very much experience to get them designed compared to the other ships. So you should be able to do that a little bit quicker. Still engaging all these Chinese convoys as well, and some of those are troop convoys. So that's one way to get the Chinese military destroyed. Now, I don't think there's anybody over here that China's at war with. No. Nobody that China's currently fighting. And so therefore it's just our conflict that they're engaged in. And the reason why they're not trying to do naval invasions over here, other than the fact that they don't control the seas, so couldn't do the invasions, is because we never did pull these guys in. And I guess that's something to consider. I don't know if you can do naval invasions from neutral territory. You can't invade from neutral territory. So, you know, if we declare war on Siam, we couldn't invade from this territory since they're not in the war. I'm not sure that applies to naval invasions, though. I know I've learned this in the past and then I've forgotten, obviously, but well, I guess we'll find out here when we get that Green Army there. Because we're not going to wait to do any invasions. We're not going to wait to do that invasion for any other further troops. I think those 10 should be enough to be able to get the job done that we're needing them to. And then we also have an additional 2 or 3 divisions that are on the way over there that are going to do a separate invasion. So let's go and get the carrier fighters. We'll have those done in 60 days. And yeah, they're just sending all these troops over here. Now they're sending them to Mexico. Remember, they're in the same faction, but they're not currently at war with us. 11 troop convoys there. So a couple divisions, at least. Probably like 3 or 4 divisions there. So yeah, they just keep on pumping troops into this area. It's interesting that it has shifted so much over to the Caribbean theater. Not really an area where I was planning on focusing on much. As you can see, we don't really have very many divisions here. And yet this is the main area that we're fighting until we actually do the invasion of China. So those are 4 French destroyers sunk. Excellent. So I didn't expect to be engaging troops here. Or excuse me, be engaging ships here. But yeah, it looks like this is going to be a problem too. We might have to send more ships over here to try and get this done. I guess we might as well go and start dealing with the Mediterranean fleet now, since we know we want to pull back on this. In fact, we're going to put them over to Asia now. They're going to be helping with the naval invasions over there. We're also going to move these guys over there too. And I almost want to create a separate fleet now for these task forces, the submarine ones. I had them separated before. I suppose we can keep them in here for now, but we are getting close to that cap there, so that's going to be an issue. Let's go ahead and see how we want to do this. Let's go and take these guys and put them into the Mediterranean. So we're going to be switching their places here. And then have the larger fleet just move over here. I think that's the easiest way to do this. And then just keep some ships in the Mediterranean, I think, just in case we have any wars break out over here. That's not going to be enough if we got to fight like the Italians or anything, and we'll have to move more ships over there. But we'll deal with that when we get there. We can also move some of these submarines out of the Mediterranean too. So maybe move... Yeah, I think we're absolutely going to probably need to build another task force here, or another fleet. For right now, we can put those submarines over there. Also move these ones over to the Americas. Alright, excellent. And then go ahead and have all these new ships here train up. And we're just going to get these capital ships trained up to the highest level, and then we'll pull those out to save some fuel. We probably want to pull all these guys out of their jobs currently. So I'll just send them over to here to hang out. These guys should be moving. They're not. Yeah, so we do need to move them over to here. I guess they wouldn't move if there's no battles going on over here. So we're going to move them over to there. But again, we will likely have to create a separate fleet here for the submarines. We'll do that later, though. Alright, so they'll sit over here, and then we'll take them and have them also sit over there. We don't need to do the patrols any longer. And then same things with these submarines here. Have them come over here, too. Alright, excellent. So just completely pull out of the Mediterranean for now. Keep the ships there. And with that, the Greeks have capitulated, so we'll have to see if we stop getting that event. It's hard to say if it'll still be broken. It might. We did just get the event as they capitulated, so there's a chance. We actually have some command power to spend on our admirals, which I think many of them do have some traits they can get. Now, some of those are just the mine ones, which we're not really using. This is for the submarines, so we'll probably just get the concealment expert for him, and then the smokescreen specialist. See if any of these other admirals have traits to get. Looks like just this submarine one, which you can get the loading drill master and the concealment expert. And looks like he can't get that yet because he doesn't have any traits open, any available traits. We are actually engaging the French fleet. They sunk one of our destroyers. We sunk a light cruiser and a destroyer. We did just pull our fleet back from over here, so they're not actually helping out in this area now. We might need to send some planes over here to help out. We can fit 200 over here, and we are supposed to be pulling all the planes out of the Mediterranean too. I pulled the ships out, but we didn't do the planes. So let's go and start moving them. See how we want to do this. All right, well, let's move some over to here. That's an area where we can likely help out quite a bit. So we'll send the naval bombers over there. Over here, we don't need to do that close air support anymore. We can send them over to here, but we need to build that up further, I think. And that's to help out in this East Africa location. And we'll also send some fighters, I suppose. And we'll just build that air base up. And we'll do that now. And just build it up one more level. And we'll prioritize that so we get it done. So they can get some air support on that invasion. Over here, we don't really need the fighters right now. So we'll put them in Hong Kong instead. Start getting some air superiority bonuses there. And then with these planes here, we're going to move those over to Asia as well. But for right now, let's just move them over to here since we don't have any open air bases just yet. Let me see if there's anything over here. There is not. Yeah, we actually have some problems there. There is one here, so I suppose you could move one air wing over to here. Start doing some more naval strikes there. Yeah, we'll do that. And I guess we'll keep the one that's over here. You know what, actually, let's move this. Let's have them come over here, and then the ones we just sent can come over here. All right, fantastic. Just kind of rotating those planes around a little bit. Since we can also get a theorist here, but we don't have the army experience to really utilize them yet, and I don't think that's the best use of our political power right now anyways. We actually have a little chunk of army experience to use, which we are waiting for those naval invasions just to finish up. I don't think this one's going to be successful, so might as well go ahead and cancel it, I think. Yeah, we'll cancel it and then have them focus on just one invasion for now. send all the troops with air support and see if they can get it done. That one fleet should be coming over here to help with the naval invasions, though I don't know which area they will go to yet. It's this one here. So we'll see which invasion they're intending to help out with. Looks like they're coming... Well, we know they're coming over here. Let's have them come over here to help with this invasion. And so yeah, we have this whole task force all throughout this area. What we'll do is pull back on this area here and just focus on getting this invasion done for right now. Yeah, we should just focus on the one invasion since our troops are kind of cruddy and not great at doing this. They're not great at attack at all. Probably shouldn't be using those divisions, but I wasn't intending to fight anybody on those invasions. I thought that they would be largely undefended or at least easily taken, but that has not been the case for us. We do have some military factories, and we got those carrier naval bombers done. I thought we had already updated those. We did not. So let's go ahead and update them now. And we're going to put this into infantry equipment because we're actually losing a lot of equipment right now, probably from these failed invasions. That's what I would expect. I can try and do the attack here again. We are losing our entrenchment every time we do that. I just want to get it wrapped up, but we're going to have to send more troops over there, I think. I just don't think we have enough. We are currently training up troops. We could train more up, and we probably should. But let's first make that adjustment to this division design here, guys, and then we'll train them all up. So we're going to be adding the signal company, I think. I think the extra reinforcement would really be helpful for us. Then also, we can finish up the design here. Yeah, I don't know why we wouldn't get that done. We wanted to get them up to 30 combat width, I think is what I said I was going to do. So yeah, we're going to get them up to 30 combat width. We're going to add probably one more artillery is what I'm thinking. One more artillery, and then the anti-air and anti-tank into here. And then we'd want one more in there as well. Probably one more anti-tank is what I'm thinking. Yeah, so that looks pretty solid here. The organization's a little bit low because we don't have as much infantry here. But you notice the stats are going up. And they should be much better in the war against the Central Powers, where we will face air power and we will face tanks as well. And that's the key here. We're getting a little bit of a heart attack. We're getting a little bit of piercing. If the Germans designed their tanks in any way similar to how they designed them in that last Russian campaign, then 50 piercing should be plenty enough, even for medium tanks, because they have such low armor, their designs do. We'll have to see exactly what we end up fighting against. But yeah, we'll see if that's enough. But it gives us some piercing. At the very least, we can pierce the light tanks. And the organization, again, is kind of low here, but I think this is fine. So let's go ahead and, well, we can't save that because we're short one damn experience. Alright, so let's just take out those, and then we'll save this for now. We'll add in those anti-tanks here to get up to the 30 combat width here as soon as we get that one experience. So let's go ahead and save that. And all of our troops will need training now, so that's what we'll be doing with these guys. It's getting everybody trained up. So just waiting to get that one last experience here, and then we'll make that final adjustment. Ready. But yeah, we do want to get anybody training that needs it. Any of these troops over here. We actually have some regular army divisions that are protecting the homeland. If the Central Powers declare war on us, then we want to move them over to here. I also did set up this to be two separate lines in the hope that they would design it the way I wanted it, which is actually to have two in each of these here with the exception of that one, and then two in all of these. But it didn't quite work the way I wanted, it never does. So we're going to have to change this up a little bit because they have the river bonus and can only be attacked from one province. So I'm not entirely sure why they're focusing on that one. Probably because it's worth 10 victory points. This one's not worth anything. So I think that's why they're focusing on that area, but it's far more wiser to have two divisions there. Yeah, just make sure we're ready here for if the Germans do use that war goal once they get it, which they very well might. So let's go and get this last anti-tank in here. Save that. And see if anybody needs any training. We are having some success sinking those Chinese convoys as well. So that's going very nicely for us. And the Green Army troops have just arrived, so we'll have to get them trained up before we can actually do those invasions. So we're waiting for the invasion task force, the fleet, to help us out with invasion support. I'm hoping with them and the planes that this should be enough to get the win, and the extra two divisions to get the win there, so we can get that done. But if the Chinese keep sending troops to all these damn islands, we're not going to be successful here. Sunk another French convoy there. Continuing to sink these Chinese convoys here. Let's go and take a look to see if these guys are ready. They are. Let's go and get them training now. Anybody who needs the training, we'll set them to train up here. And I think the Green Army's already set up there. Alright, fantastic. We got the 6-pounders. You know, I was going to go ahead and get the improved artillery, but we are close enough to 1941 to go and start working on 1941 techs. Let's get that concentrated industry 4. Alright, so the troops are here and are training up. And so once they get done training, we'll send them over here to do that invasion. Although we'll likely have a secondary invasion, which we'll set that up now. We currently have him set to do that. I guess we can keep him doing it. I don't know if I was training this leader up or what, but yeah, he's not very good. But he'll be invading into Zygon, and we're going to send a few of the troops from the Green Army over there to help him out. Alright, so we'll have 4 going this way and 8 going this way. If we have any more troops laying around, then we'll send those as well. I think we're pretty short on divisions at the moment, though, until we get some of the more of those troops done training, which, since we have completely finished up the design for them, they're up to the 30 combat width, they got all their support companies. Let's go ahead and start adding more of these in here. It does look like we are short on the anti-tanks and support equipment, so might want to kind of shift focus, which I guess we just got the new anti-tanks, so we need to get those updated. But yeah, might want to shift focus of our factories a little bit over to that, although I'm not sure what we'd pull from besides the trucks. It looks like we have a ton going into trucks here. So yeah, let's pull back on the trucks and then put those into the anti-tanks. I guess we need a lot of those. I thought we had a good stockpile of them, but apparently not. And then put these into the support equipment as well. Alright, so that looks good. We're also building up on the planes quite a bit. Alright, so yeah, just waiting for these ships to get over here. Let me see where they're at. Make sure they're heading over here, which they might not be. It looks like they want to come over to this invasion. I don't know if I can get them to stay on an invasion that I want them to do. They might just be fully set on doing that one, and then they'll always be going over there. We did get the advanced ship torpedo launcher. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and do the snorkels next. We almost have enough experience to do the carriers. We're waiting until we get 35 for that. 5 more convoys sunk over here, and this is really... it feels like we're not doing anything in the war in a sense. Because right now we're just preparing, but we're sinking a ton of troops in the sea. We've been incredibly effective with our submarines, with our convoy rating. We did get the logistic company too. We're going to be staying over here trying to get all of these wrapped up. And we'll go ahead and go after... do the field hospitals next. And just keep on working on those. Those are nice passive bonuses. We already have those in the division designs. But yeah, we're doing incredibly well on sinking troops in the sea. So even though we're not really fighting in many places right now, I think we are doing heavy casualties to the Chinese and the French to a lesser extent. So we need to design the 1940 carrier hull. Go ahead and do the historical carrier names. Get those hangars added in here. The anti-air, the radar. We got the best engines already. We got those dual purpose guns now. And this will get us 80 planes. A deck size of 80. So we'll be naming this class after one of your guys' suggestions. This will be the Victory class, which is named off of Lord Nelson's flagship, the HMS Victory. I did have somebody suggest to name one of the carrier classes the Lord Nelson. However, I think that's already a carrier class, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I want to say that might already be a carrier class. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do the Victory. I don't know if that's been used for any of the classes here historically, but yeah, we'll go ahead and go with the Victories, and I think everything else is good to go. So let's go and save that and get them building. I'll put them up here at the top, get them the full 5 dockyards, get them set up to deploy here, and then we'll just pull the dockyards likely from the submarines, as well as maybe from the destroyers as well. So that's leaves 1. So I'll pull 1 from here too. I almost want to build 2 of them, but we already have 1 carrier building here. That'll be done on the 26th of April. I suppose we should be focusing on getting these destroyers. Oh, the cruisers. I was like, why do we have so many dockyards? We haven't built the cruisers yet because we don't have any Navy experience to design them. That's how short we are when it comes to the naval experience. That's why we got these ships over here training as well. I almost want to go ahead and have these guys do their training too. Or maybe even pull some of these and have them do training, since we're not even sinking anything over here. I don't think we're engaged in anything over here. No. So yeah, let's just take all these old ones and move them off of the convoy raiding and then put them onto the naval exercise, because they're not getting any experience doing convoy raiding. Now, one negative, of course, of doing the training is that they do get damaged, which means we're going to spend time repairing those with the dockyards, which could be time used building new ships. So that's one negative there. But the way we have this set up, those ships will, or those dockyards will be pulled from over here instead. So the convoys, really, which we don't even need all of them put into convoys there. I think I was supposed to put these ones into the carrier. So I guess we'll pull back on the convoys and put these back into the destroyers and submarines. What is this about? Somebody just wants some bananas, but we don't have any, apparently. So that event is not going to stop firing with the capitulation of the Greeks. It's very unfortunate. It's not how I wanted to see that go down. I was hoping that we'd be able to stop it. But yeah, that's not going to be the case. So yeah, I can't do this invasion until we're done training here, guys. Although I don't know if we're going to wait for the tanks, because remember we did those huge adjustments to them, so they need a lot of experience. And I don't think these ships are going to stay over here. I think they just keep on adjusting themselves to come back over here. That's the way it appears anyway. We'll take a look real quick and see if that's what's going on. Yeah, there's no way to stop them. They're set on coming to this area here. Yeah, okay. So yeah, there's no way for me to control which invasion they're on, which is kind of a shame. You would think you'd be able to control that, particularly considering the fact that this is like not... Okay, this one's fine, I suppose. I was going to say, I thought they were over here. If they were going to help out with any of them over here, we'd want this one. So yeah, it looks like they're stuck going to that one, so that's unfortunate. We'd have to like change up the task force and everything to get them to stay over here. So we're going to just try and do it with the 5 divisions that we have here with the air support and see if that's going to be enough. So let's go ahead and take them and put them on the close air support and see if they can do it with 5 divisions and the close air support. We'll see if that's enough for them to be successful here without any ships assisting them. The other thing I do is just, again, pull them out of the task force and just force them over here. I'm going to create their own little task force and then manually send them over here, or even just assign that task force to this area to do naval invasion support. Looks like this will be enough. Now that we have the planes, or perhaps it was the extra divisions, or they moved divisions out. There's a lot of reasons why we could be successful now when we weren't before. So now we want to go and shift them over to this invasion. And we'll shift the planes over here too. That'll at least give us the air superiority bonus, but we will not get any close air support assistance. So you might as well move the close air support somewhere else where they can actually do something. Like maybe over to here. Now, again, I don't expect they're going to help out much, because one of the battles would have to probably be in these 3 areas, or for these 4 provinces, for us to actually be able to reach them. We do have the political power, finally, to get the infantry equipment designer, so let's go and do that. I think we've fallen way behind on that, actually, because I was waiting on getting that. Waited far too long, I think. Shouldn't have waited that long. We should have just researched it. We can't get it now with the next research slot that opens up, though. More convoy sunk over there. So I'm just trying to get these invasions done over here. This here is just a stalemate. They can't attack us, but we can't attack them without sending more divisions. I just don't care enough about it. And frankly, this is kind of good for us that they're focusing so much on that area, because that's allowing us to pull divisions from other areas where we're going to be fighting in. So we're still building up this naval base, and so that's one of the reasons why the supply is an issue here. We are building up one more level, I think, so we'll see if that'll be enough. It doesn't look like the supply problems are all that bad, so it might be. We're almost done training here. It's just the tanks they're waiting on at this point, and to get that naval base built up to get the supply issue dealt with. But yeah, I think this should work out nicely. We should at least be able to cut them off here and then get all Indochina taken. And then we'll have a front up along here that we'll probably largely use for defensive purposes as we do naval invasions elsewhere. But frankly, we have to get some of these divisions done training so that we can send them over to the Asian theater. So we got our focus completed. That's fantastic. That's going to be some research bonuses that we definitely need and can use for our naval invasions. We'll take a look at that in a minute because, you know, actually we'll get this done first and then we'll do the event. Well, since we could find ourselves at war with Germany soon, and thus we could see them doing some strategic bombing of our homeland, getting the anti-air here would be useful. We also get some air experience. Most importantly, this leads us to get those 3 research bonus for the radar, which we definitely want to get while we still can use them before we research all those. So we'll get that knocked out, and I think this is about giving up something here in Syria. The Amphibious bandits running the Ottoman Sultanate have demanded we immediately surrender the territory of Syria over to them under threat of war. It cannot be said that we are surprised by this decision by the Turkish vultures, but that does not make our situation any less precarious, which it is very precarious because we don't have any divisions to defend this territory if they were to attack us. And I don't know what we'd do over here, honestly, because we'd lose all this. I can't fight both the Turks and Iraq here, and then plus they're going to get assistance from their other allies. Yeah, this could be a pretty bad situation, honestly. But I don't know that I want to give up the territory either. We'll see exactly what this says, but we must decide whether we are prepared to surrender our land to the Turks, the Turkishes, in the hopes of avoiding war, or if we are willing to try to permanently cast the Ottoman Sultanate back into the annals of history where they should have stayed. I mean, if we give it to them, they're just going to demand further territory. It's not that this territory is useful, because it's not. There's really not much anything here. It's just requiring us to garrison it for no gain. It's not really getting us any manpower because it's, you know, colonial territory. And there's no manpower, there's no factories, there's no resources. I guess there's one civilian factory right there. I guess there's another one there. So 2 civilian factories, we would be losing that. But that doesn't make up for the amount of manpower and equipment we have to provide here for the garrisons. So frankly, I don't even really care about giving up. I suppose you're not giving up that territory there. Looks like we're going to give up any of this. It would just be Syria. Okay, I was thinking we're giving up the whole coastline here. Yeah, we're only giving up Syria for right now. Well, that's the issue. It's for right now. They're going to want all this territory eventually. They're going to want Egypt, I'm sure. So it feels like you're just giving up the territory just for them to demand something else later. And frankly, I don't see us giving up, you know, being willing to give the territory to them in the first place. So this is interesting, because if they declare war, which we talked about earlier in the episode that this could be a problem, but yeah, if they declare war, then we can't really fight it. We'd have to sit on defense behind the Suez Canal here. That's really the only choice. I suppose you might be able to defend somewhere else, so you can make sure you have full control of the Suez. And I think the best place to defend is up here in the mountains, where we have 3 mountain provinces all right next to each other. So you could just go like this across here. I suppose you could defend. Yeah, that wouldn't work. So yeah, it would be like right here is where you'd want to defend. And then you have the one weak point here. Unfortunately, it won't get any modifiers there. But yeah, I think we're just going to defend it. And if they declare war on us, then they declare war on us. It is what it is. I'm not giving them any territory. We would need to send another division over there. So it looks like we got our railway gun done here. So let's go and move them on over to here. This is where I think they'd be most useful. Looks like we gotta wait till they get there before we can give them any further orders. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to move some of these troops. Any troops that are, I mean, yeah, frankly, I think we won't be able to defend them with the better divisions. We're gonna need these to help us out against Turkey, which this is just going to be for the defense, you know, just try and hold this territory. So what we're going to want to do is probably go ahead and start building up a fort here to make up for not having mountains. And really put that up pretty close to the top here. Probably give them like a level 5. We got to readjust that. And then like level 2s over here. And we can wait to build all the rest of this stuff here. There we go. Beautiful. Just gotta really focus on getting those forts done. Because I assume they're going to declare war on us fairly quickly. The only place we have to worry about is here when it comes to being at war with them. And of course, you have Kuwait, but we're just going to give Kuwait up. I don't see any point on trying to defend it. There's nothing really here. I mean, you might be able to build a fort and really make them a work for it, I suppose. We don't have any troops to send over there. We have a real shortage of divisions at this moment. Just too many areas that we're currently fighting in. I don't think we'll even be able to send these troops over to here as I'd planned. We can put one division, I think, to make sure every province is defended. No, we'd need 2 divisions. Now you need 1 here and 1 here, so the other 3 will likely come over to here so we can fight these guys. So we'll see what happens, but I do expect that they're going to declare war on us. So we're going to say it is well past time to permanently dismantle the Ottoman hegemony. And so that's interesting. We're going to find ourselves at war with the Ottomans, even though they did not join the Central Powers, and they can't join the Central Powers now. So yeah, we'll just be at war with this faction here. And I'm wondering if anybody else will join that. Could cause us some problems, guys. Some real problems. Like, for instance, if Japan was to join that faction instead of the Central Powers. Really don't know what's going to happen. We'll see if they declare war. We'll get the troops over there as soon as we can. And interesting. Germany declared war on South Africa because they got the war goals, and I guess they weren't just against the British Empire and the French. It was against the Dominions as well. Okay, I didn't know that. So they declared war on South Africa. I guess they're too scared to declare war on us. I don't know how they're planning on doing that. They don't have a fleet, or they have a little bit of a fleet, I suppose. So I guess I could try and do a naval invasion here. I'm more worried about how that's going to affect the factions. It's really hard to say. We did get these knocked out. That was fairly quick. We do still have several different types of planes to get here, the larger planes, and we have research bonuses for them, so I suppose we'll work on them. Always have one of our research slots working on planes. So we'll do the tactical bombers next. Yeah, we'll do the tactical bombers next. Might want to start doing some strategic bombing of China once we get this airbase built up a little bit higher. Right now it's just the 200 planes. But yeah, we'll want to send some strategic bombers. They don't have to be there. They can probably bomb from over here as well. And we built this up some. So let's go ahead and do that now. We'll set up the air wing of strategic bombers of 100. 100 strategic bombers. And they can't reach there, unfortunately. So we would have to bomb from over here. Alright, so that's fine. We'll wait till we get that built up another level. We're currently working on that. And once we do, we'll start doing some bombing here. I mean, they can kind of reach, I suppose. We'll just wait, though. We have the airbase currently being worked on, so that's fine. So yeah, we'll just have to see what happens here if the Turks declare war on us. They threatened us. They know we're not scared. And Japan just joined the Canadian faction. Wow. Alright, so that's unfortunate. And so that's what I was afraid of happening with Germany declaring war on South Africa, guys. It did result in Japan and Russia joining that faction, which is a real shame, because those are who we want to fight. I almost feel like we have to join the Central Powers at this point, which is a bummer, because I wanted to fight them. But yeah, I don't know what else to do here, other than us fighting the whole world, which we could do that. But one reason I'm hesitant to do that is because of the fact that we had this break. I do assume that the series is going to lose a lot of viewers. You can't usually take a week break and then expect everybody to come back. I imagine that we lost probably 50% of our viewers or somewhere around that. And so yeah, I wouldn't want to do a huge long series, because that would be a really long series. We already know we're fighting 2 large countries here in China and America. But then we also would have to invade into all the Central Powers, which is obviously a huge faction here, and then the Russians and the Japanese. So you're basically fighting the entire world. So that'd be a really, really long series. So I don't really want to do that. I wanted to have some allies. Again, I've been trying to avoid allying with the Central Powers, but I might not be able to do that any longer. We might need to try and join their faction. Now, right now, they're not willing to, because we're not sharing any wars. But if we were to, say, declare war on this faction here, the Commonwealth of Nations, then I think they would be willing to let us join. But we'd have to do that before they declare war on us. I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think. Should we ally with the Central Powers now that the Japanese have joined what will eventually be an enemy faction? It's kind of a shame. That does mean that the Canadians are now in the war as well. Yeah, it's kind of a bummer that happened. I don't know why they declared war on South Africa, because I know they have a war goal, but I mean, like, they don't have any territory to attack from, so kind of strange that they did that and kind of messed the factions up. So very unfortunate. Is what it is, guys. So I might just have to react to that. Did we get this port built up? Not yet. still working on it. Get that done on the 27th of February. And the Ottomans have invited us to join their faction. Alright, well that's interesting. So they wouldn't be willing to accept us if we were to ask, but they have sent us an invite here. Well, the Ottomans are at war with the Russians. Their whole faction is at war with the Russians. Oh, okay, I see what happened here. So another result of all this faction adjustments is that I think the Greeks, if I'm not mistaken, let me just double check on that. We'll look at Canada's faction real quick here. But yeah, the Hellenic Republic, the Greeks, were part of that faction. And so when Turkey declared war on them, they were at war with Canada and South Africa, something I wasn't even really considering that much, and I'd forgotten about because of a little week-long break. And so that did result in all of them joining that war. And then when the Russians and Japanese joined the Commonwealth of Nations, they are now at war with the Russians and Japanese. So that's interesting. So that would be an option as well, to join their faction instead of the Central Powers, and at least we have some allies. But yeah, I don't know that they're a very powerful faction or useful faction. I suppose that would be one option though, is to join that faction. Let me know what you guys think. I think we're gonna go and stop here. I was gonna record for another 5 minutes or so. But yeah, we're gonna go and stop here, guys, and let me know what you guys are thinking. Should we join the Central Powers, which I think we will still be able to do. We just got to join this conflict, and one of the conflicts that they're already in. And we could join the Central Powers, and this would be a quicker and perhaps easier series as well, I suppose. It would, of course, be easier because we're not fighting the Central Powers. But I am worried about length, considering the fact that we did just take this week-long break, so I expect to lose a bit of the viewership. So that would be an option, to join the Central Powers, and then we don't have to defend this border here. We can invade the Italians, and we'll get help to do that. The Ottomans attack us, we'll also get help from the Central Powers for that. And then we'll be fighting the Japanese and the Russians as soon as we join that faction, and so we'd be doing an invasion of Japan here, and I don't know if the Russians how much we'll fight them, because, you know, the Central Powers kind of already had that front locked down. But that'd be one option, to join the Central Powers. The other option would be to accept this and join the Ottomans faction. We no longer will have to defend this territory here or worry about any invasions from the Turks. Not that we have a lot of troops dedicated to that anyways. But yeah, that would free up those troops to go elsewhere. We don't have to worry about them attacking us any longer. We also will have all this in our faction. That'd be helpful for when we invade into India and Pakistan. We'll have some borders to do that, I suppose, although, you know, obviously we can do the naval invasions just fine, so we won't really need that faction for that. Plus we can invade from this way if we attack Siam after we finish here in Indochina and then Burma, and then we can come in through this way on top of doing naval invasions. So we don't really need that front. In fact, this is kind of a more difficult area to attack from because of the mountains here. I think the Commonwealth of Nations is now going to be in a lot of trouble as they're at war with two large factions. So yeah, I think they're probably going to lose. Although they are winning here against Qing China, although we expected them to have success here. There's no way the Central Powers were going to get any assistance to them in time. So yeah, they are having success there. I think China could end up attacking the Japanese. That's a possibility. I don't know where they're at in their focus tree. We can kind of like dip through here real quick. Yeah, it looks like they already have some stuff against them. Yeah, they could end up attacking them as well, and then it'll be a third faction that the Commonwealth of Nations is at war with, and that would be the Communist faction here. That could be an interesting development as well, since then when America joins that faction, then they'll be at war with Canada. So we'll have to see what happens, guys. It's getting kind of crazy, though, as it often does. But let me know what you think on the factions. If we join the Central Powers, obviously it's easier and quicker campaign, which might be for the best with us taking this break. But this would be an interesting faction as well, I suppose. Not going to get a ton of assistance, because honestly, they're not a very powerful faction. And they would probably be I think they're the weakest faction in the game at this point. Yeah, they're definitely weaker than the Central Powers. The Communist faction's gotten kind of weak because of us defeating the French. So, I don't know how they compare to just China. I guess Mexico's in there too. So I would say the Communist faction probably is more powerful than their faction. And they're certainly, you know, less powerful than the Commonwealth of Nations, so I think they're probably the least powerful faction in the game. Not really all that useful territory or borders at this moment, and I don't think they'll be all that useful in our wars. I suppose they might help out here, though they'll probably be more of a liability than anything else. So, yeah, it's an option. Let me know what you guys are thinking. We do have those two choices, though, because, yeah, it looks like Japan will not be an option, which is very unfortunate, because I was really hoping to join in a faction with the Japanese and the Russians. I was thinking that was the best way for us to go. But yeah, at this point, there's no way that we're joining the Commonwealth of Nations, since, you know, we have to get Canada and South Africa back. So let me know down in the comments below what you think. Which faction should we join? Should we join the Central Powers if they'll let us, which I think they will once we share a war, or should we join, which we already have an offer for, the Ottoman faction? We probably wouldn't join their conflict initially. They'll ask us to come into the conflict, but I don't think we would, because I'm not looking to fight all those countries just yet. We're not ready, frankly. We have troops on the South African border, but they got more. And then over here, we only have a few divisions, not much. I guess they don't have anything to stop us, but yeah, we don't really have very many troops here. We'd then have to fight the Japanese over here in the Pacific, which we're not really ready to do just yet. So what I think we'd probably do is wait to join the conflict until we at least get some troops into some of these areas here. So let me know down in the comments which of the two factions you think we should join. I do hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment. Do hope to see you guys on the next one, as we should be finally doing this invasion here. I think we should be ready to knock that out. We're just waiting to get this port built up so the supply is no longer an issue, although it doesn't look like it's impacting the organization at all. We do have some strength issues, so we're getting those replacements to them, getting the extra equipment to them. So that's another thing to kind of wait for. And then, of course, the tanks, you know, we don't have to wait for them to get fully trained. I don't think that's necessary. So yeah, we can also wait for the air base here to get done in Hong Kong, but I don't think it would be able to reach here. So I don't think that's all that important either. So we're pretty much ready to do that invasion. And so I think we'll do that soon. Also, I believe we're ready to do this invasion as well. Just got to send some ships over there. So yeah, we'll do that invasion too, and you know, then we'll start getting ready for the full invasion of China, which again we're going to be doing from 3 separate points here in Hong Kong, here from Indochina, and then naval invasions up along the coast to take over the key victory points. So yeah, that's the plan for the next video. We'll also, you know, be impacted by which faction we decide to join. We'll have to kind of start getting ready for that. And to maybe be able to move troops around based on who's going to be our allies and who's going to be our enemies. So I do hope to see you guys on the next episode, and thanks for watching.